All right. Would you like to introduce yourself
My name is Grenz, Plastina.
and any background that you would like to share?
Background right now, I'm with the Navy and I'm here for vacation.
All right, right. Which part of the Navy are you at?
Mainly aviation. So
Aviation.
my job is a aviation machinist mate, which is pretty much like a mechanic for aircraft.
Better repair those Blackhawks. How long have you been with the Navy so far?
It's been about 8 months already.
8 months.
So
What were your hobbies before you got into the Navy?
mainly working out with my friends and doing all kinds of stuff with them.
You played football, right?
I played sports and
What was your position?
played football. Well, I played defensive end. It was
Okay.
pretty fun.
Okay. Before you actually found the community of the House of Grace, I think you guys were at Jersey, right?
Yes.
What was your life like?
In New Jersey, well, I could remember a lot of Bible studies. I mean, every week would be at a family's house, and we'd be up there until 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and it was fun. I got to meet a lot of my friends there. We'd hang out usually at a separate room, and obviously church every Sunday, and youth at Fridays.
So
good.
it seems like you grew up already knowing quite a lot already about the Bible, huh?
Yes,
Why is that?
mainly because my dad's a pastor.
What is it like being a son of a pastor?
kid? Well, at first, I started realizing there was more expectations. I was held at a higher standard, and to act at a certain way, to where my values should uphold. It should reflect as to who my dad is. So I'd say just pressure.
Did you have like a moment in your life like, oh, you were the son of a pastor, you shouldn't be doing that?
Yes, sometimes, because I was naturally introverted, so I wouldn't really talk to many people. I wasn't really active in terms of helping out in the church. But I
Mhm.
realized that since I'm here,
Might as
I
well.
should do that.
Okay. So how did your family, how did your family came to know the community within the House of Grace? Because I think if I remember, you guys moved here, what, 2020,
2021.
2021? So how did you guys first found the church community?
Well, it was mainly through Point Church. My dad wanted to plant new churches,
Mm.
and Point Church initially allowed him to do that. And so a couple years later, that's where we got to plant this church.
Okay.
And yes.
And do you remember the first time that, I guess it's like every Sunday you go to church because of your dad, but do you remember the first time, like the official church session that you had, at least here in North Carolina?
Vividly, I remember there was, I'd say, a fair amount of people. And yeah,
Was it different compared to what you guys had in New Jersey or I guess the Philippines?
I'd say it was more similar to how we had in the Philippines, because the community there, it was more like a family. In the Philippines,
Mm.
it was really tight knit, and sure, we didn't have like a lot, like in New Jersey we have at least 100 people in that church, but in here and also in the Philippines there was like less people.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did you join any small groups when you were in Jersey?
yes, we were put in the youth group, and that was high schoolers and middle schoolers,
Mm-hmm.
and we had that every Friday.
I guess you guys don't have as much of a board game as we have over here.
Yes, there were much more people there, but it was not as like tight knit as this group.
Was there a recent event in your life where it actually deepened your faith, where you actually try to seek God and made you feel more connected to the community? So basically, like, yeah, God is with me. This is like the moment. Was there a recent event?
I'd say the most profound one I had was during boot camp, when I'd say that was a time where I felt the most alone, and I realized that I wasn't really alone. You know, God is with me, and that's how I got to pull through, and that's how I got to succeed. It was through Him.
I heard you have this story of when you were doing the test in the military,
Mhm.
you were about to give up, and then suddenly you gained some strength. You remember that story?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Basically during boot camp we'd have like 5 hours, 4 hours of sleep every night. It was only because I had to be up all night. I had a specific job where I was pretty much doing, along with the team, obviously, doing like laundry of 100 people. And
100 people.
yes, every day we did that.
Oh my-
We had to wash the clothes of 100 people, but
Okay.
yeah, we had to do that all night. And aside from that, we were getting, we were doing push-ups, we were doing squats all day, every day. So I wasn't really getting the rest and the recovery I needed. Even then, I wanted to be to have the highest physical score in our division of 100 people. So yeah, my joints were hurting, my back was hurting, but I got to pulled through, yeah.
How was being part of the House of Grace community change your life?
Well, I could, look back also into boot camp. My friends in the House of Grace community, they were the first to actually send me letters, aside from my family, of course, but they really encouraged me to push through. And it was for them that I realized, my why. And I'm doing this for my community. And at the end of the day, I'm doing this all for the glory of the God. So,
Do you have a favorite Bible verse that will reflect your life story?
well, I'd say there's a lot right now, but one thing that always, sticks out to me is, Proverbs 3, 5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul. And to me, I'd say that's like what culminates the life of a Christian, is just continually trusting in God in times of uncertainties. And it might be not what I want, but
Good. And how old are you now?
I'm 19.
19? Yeah. So let's say you go back to your 10-year-old self. Do you have any advice to give a 10-year-old Grenz?
I'd say don't take things for granted. I feel like most of my childhood I was pretty comfortable, and with that came a lot of complacency, especially with time and the people I had, especially the relationships I had with people. I feel like I got too comfortable to where, you'd think that you'd have all the time you have with them, but things are constantly moving, things are constantly changing to where that's not always true. So I'd say never take things for granted, and make the most of your time, because it goes by really fast. So
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Grenz.
thank you, Mark.